Hey guys, Fields here. I'm going to be going over the this week's Yield Max distribution funds. So yeah, let's get straight into it. As always, I start with the weekly funds, and then we'll shift into the monthly funds. Yeah, so Chippy still doesn't have distribution rate or the 30-day sec yield, but we can still look at it. Obviously, they've provided the distributions every single time for the last little while now, but for some reason they're not including that on the email report. So not like it really matters because these shift so often, usually. I mean, maybe not these top three specifically, but you know. So getting into it, we have a 39% distribution compared to a 41% distribution. We can see the price trend and the distribution trend are rising. For GPTY, we have 29 cents versus 28 cents. That's very similar to LFGY, just under it, 49 compared to 48. So both of those are around their exact same levels, and they've recovered quite well. Moving on to the index-based funds, we have QDTY with 31 over 28, RDTY of 35 over 37, and SCTY of 26 over 26. So overall, pretty much the same as the 3-month average. So that's a pretty good thing. It's not below it, yeah, you can see those three as a whole, like kind of what they're doing in terms of trend. But they're getting close to recovering from the last 3 months. What is not recovering well in terms of both the price and distribution is Alti. It's currently at 10 cents compared to its 13-cent 3-month average, and you can see the price there is pretty behind. And even more so on the distributions. So they've been really lacking. But yeah. Moving on to YieldMax, we have a 29-cent compared to its 13 cents, so quite a big jump there on this distribution, and the price is even closer to the top than the other ones. Same thing is true for YieldMax with 21 compared to 16, which is very nice. And yeah, that's the last of the weekly funds, so we'll move into the monthlies. So ABNY, we have 39 cents compared to 48 cents, so a little bit below its 3-month average. Again, just as a word of warning, because we're looking at the monthly funds now, these are only going to have the last 3 or 4 distribution points if available, as well as the price. So the price is just the same as the other ones. It gets it daily, but the distribution points are going to be less. So the distribution trend chart sparkline is going to probably look more erratic. So I just wanted to point that out. But same with the 3-month average, because really it only has 3 data points to average out on. So yeah. Anyways, continuing, AMDY 42 cents compared to its 29 cents. I believe this was something to do with an earnings report. I think they had one recently within the last month, but I can't remember. There's been a lot going on, so hard to keep track. But Coney, we have 74 cents compared to its 56 cents. Very, very good there. I think the same thing is true there potentially. CVXY, we have a lot of growth there in terms of or kickback. You can see it dropped even further than most of these funds, but it's seemingly rising a lot faster, and we can also see that kind of displayed in the distribution, which is very good. Not so good is the inverse fund here, Fiat, which is the coin or Coinbase inverse option call fund. So from YieldMax, so we have 27 compared to 72, so more than half down. And yeah, you can just see that it doesn't really exactly line up with this chart exactly. And there's a lot of areas where it doesn't have as much growth where it should, and where it doesn't have as much or have as little downtrend as it should. You can see here, this chart up here is pretty much the same metric. Sort of, kind of. They do a lot of different stuff with the inverse funds. It's not just, puts, but new fund, which is pretty recent. So we have our first distribution of the Hood option income strategy, Hoodie, or Hooey. I don't know what they're calling it nowadays, but HOOY. We have a $3.30 distribution. You can see the price trend is very good on that. Obviously, it's not been out for that long, but overall, not bad. MSFO, we have 55 cents compared to its 38 cents. Very good there. There have been a lot of announcements. I don't know if these really affected the price, but I'm a developer. There have been a lot of announcements from Microsoft's side about creating a lot of new open source products, open sourcing like Copilots, extension of VS Code and stuff like that. So that could help. They might have also had an earnings call. I'm not quite sure. I don't really follow it that much, but overall, very good, right? Very good. NFLY, we have 68 cents compared to 64 cents, so just above that 3-month average. And lastly, Pi, or the PayPal fund, so 55 compared to 43. So as well, very good there. The price, maybe not so much, but its distributions are pretty nice. Overall, I'd say the best fund in terms of raw distribution rate would be the I said CVXY. I meant CVNY. I'm sorry. And as well as that is the highest distribution per share for this week. And then in second place for that would be the HUI, or the hood option call strategy, or cover call strategy. So yeah, that's it for me. I'd say the markets are looking pretty decent. Seems like we've almost recapped a lot of what we've lost in terms of the last 3 months. In terms of just the price movement for a lot of these, still have a little bit of ways to go on some of them. So there's that, but I'd say maybe not so much the price trend. We can see a lot of them up, and most of them were actually above their 3-month average distribution. We can see here on their distribution trend, most of those charts are green. So yeah, that doesn't really tell us. This is not technically in line with this, but I just wanted to point that out as well. But anyways, guys, that is it from me. And as always, I wish you guys a wealthy future.